And a good Thursday evening. It's 8:30. This is David Oliver in the Digital News Center coming on with early news and weather information on the Night Beat. Weeknights we do this at 8:30 to get you caught up on what's happening across northeast Kansas. Here's a live look at our Midland exterior Skycam network in downtown Topeka. You can see some clouds out there. Obviously the temperatures have changed just a bit. The enjoyable weather we've been certainly getting accustomed to over the last several days, it's gone. And February has slapped us with a dose of reality here in our neck of the woods tonight. Indeed, the wind chills are pretty frigid out there as well. Jeremy's going to be along here in a couple of minutes and talk more about the forecast for the weekend, which is, again, more of a reality check for us that it's still winter, but we're going to rebound nicely next week. So there is a silver lining in the forecast, and I'll have that for you coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Want to get you caught up on a few quick news headlines that we are following on this Thursday evening, the 19th of February. We spoke to a Kansas congressman today. Obviously, the ICE raids and efforts and things that have been happening around the country have been getting a lot of attention. Well, we spoke to a Kansas congressman here at WIBW today who says he would like to see a little bit more transparency in terms of those ICE operations we're seeing play out all around the country. Congressman Derek Schmidt was in our studios today answering questions on ION Northeast Kansas. He told us today that immigration laws should be enforced, but the priority, he says, ought to be people who are here illegally and have committed an additional crime. We also asked Congressman Schmidt about the difficulty in getting information about recent arrests.
When local law enforcement conducts an arrest, it's in a manner that the community sees it. There's happenings. It's very common, it's routine, it's typical for the chief or the sheriff to then put out a press advisory, make a public statement, conduct a news conference and say, here is what we did and why. I think that the federal immigration authorities, when they're operating in Kansas and doing these operations, ought to do the same thing. It's not an unreasonable ask. We've said that to them. We'll see if they take it to heart. If not, we'll say it a little more loudly.
You can hear the full interview with Congressman Schmidt there on the ION Northeast Kansas tab on WIBW+. That's right on our website. It's on our mobile app and also on your various streaming platforms. Certainly a lot still to be discussed in terms of policy regarding some of the ICE operations we're seeing play out. We've also seen some of those operations here in Northeast Kansas over the last couple of days. Folks are posting some videos on social media and such, but we will keep you up to date on those situations as they continue to evolve. Speaking of evolving situations, the wildfires in southwest Kansas continue to burn down there. They're getting a handle on some of that, but certainly when we see those fires play out, it can have an effect on local producers, farmers in our state. It can affect their cattle, their livestock. It can affect their property and their hay crops too. From our Wichita news partner, though, Brady Bauman went out to find out more about how local communities are already stepping up in the wake of the fires to help out the farmers who may be affected. Take a look.
You know, everybody's doing the best that they can, but Mother Nature can't always be predicted.
Dry conditions and high winds spark wildfires, bringing destruction, evacuations, and torching thousands of acres of grassland throughout southwest Kansas and parts of Oklahoma.
Our phone started ringing first thing this morning with people saying, how can we help? Which is amazing. And so, you know, we're trying to help coordinate that so that they can help their fellow ranchers.
Efforts are already underway in Cowley County, where Jared Lawrence has been reaching out to local hay producers to send help.
Like these hay bales right here behind me, a truckload is going to be anywhere from 34 to 38 at a time, times however many trucks and hay bales we can put together.
Jared says he's helped send hay in previous wildfires, including the Medicine Lodge area, and has friends dealing with the devastation now. He says one ranch had about 800 bales before the wildfires. That stock now down to 2.
I can't imagine watching all of that work and money that you've put into stuff go up in smoke, and all you can do is just run away from it, because I just can't fathom that feeling.
If there is good fortune to be found when it comes to these wildfires engulfing areas of Kansas ranchland, Jared tells me that the recent rebound from drought has led to an abundance of hay. that can be sent out to those in need.
The one saving grace is in 2025 in a lot of areas of the state, we had an abundance of hay being put up. And so that luckily we're not all in a drought to where we have the resources hay-wise to send over there.
And Jared says he's happy to help. In Cowley County, Brady Bowman, 12 News.
We should mention as well, there are still several first responders from up here in northeast Kansas that are down there in that part of our state trying to help battle back some of those flames that are continuing to burn. But again, they are starting to get a handle on some of it down there, but it's going to take some time as well. From the State House, I want to mention this little bit of news that came out today. You've heard a lot of talk about the fact that there aren't a lot of attorneys in rural parts of our state. They call those deserts, if you will, legal deserts. But a measure that aims to try to kind of help fix that situation has advanced now out of the Kansas House. We spent some time talking about this with some Washburn law students today. Because this has moved on, it's giving hope to advocates trying to address those legal deserts in rural parts of our state. Now, the bill would create a program that gives law students up to $3,000 a year for up to 3 years to help them cover tuition and school expenses. In exchange, the students would then have to practice full-time in rural areas of Kansas for at least 1 year for every year that they receive the stipend. 13 News spoke with a Washburn law student today who says the time to address the rural attorney shortage in Kansas is now.
The encouragement given by the Kansas legislature in passing the bill that they did last night is that they recognize that and they understand that, and that they're pushing students such as myself to go out there and to perform legal services for those communities, so those things like constitutional rights cannot be so easily downtrodden.
And again, the bill was advanced out of the House of Representatives last night. It is now up for consideration over on the Senate side. We will, of course, let you know where that goes from here as it moves through the process, but it's obviously something these advocates have been pushing for quite some time as they work to try to get the attorneys back into those rural parts of our state across Kansas. After a quick 1-minute break, we're going to come back with Jeremy's forecast, which again, as I mentioned, has some hope after this little dose of reality. You're watching the Night Beat. Stay right here. We're back in just 60 seconds.
Temperatures tonight will be fairly cold, dropping into the low 20s with the wind chill already in the single digits in some spots this evening. So tonight the wind chill and single digits and teens should be common through morning. Make sure the kids have got the thick coat for the bus stop tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, we'll all see high temperatures very close to 40. That's after yesterday we were close to 70, so it's a huge change. And we had that strong wind today, dropping the temperatures, of course. North winds tomorrow gusting around 5 or 10 miles per hour. Certainly not a cold day for February. It's slightly below average, but we've just been so warm that suddenly this seems like a problem. But upper 30s to low 40s tomorrow is just below average this time of the year. It'll be colder than we're used to. Saturday, we're looking at temperatures still close to 40. Sunday, some spots will be in the 20s for highs, with most of us in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Here's your first alert 8-day forecast. A chance of some light snow Friday night, not accumulation, but possibly a few snowflakes. Low 40s this weekend for most of us, and the highs jump right back to the 60s by Tuesday.
Jeremy, thanks. And there's that live look right there from the Jayhawk Tower downtown at the Capitol building. You can see the clouds off there in the distance, and obviously it's a cool, crisp night for February here in our neck of the woods, and so we'll keep the forecast updated for you, and we'll let you know what's going on as we move closer to the relief next week back in the 60s after this chilly weekend. Make a pot of chili, just stay inside and watch a movie or something. Before I go, I want to mention something that might put a smile on your face. As you plan for warmer months ahead, summer vacations, getaways, there's some good news tonight for some folks who have plans to visit one of 4 very popular national parks here in our nation. Let me tell you what's going on here, because the Department of the Interior announced this week that Arches, Glacier, Rocky Mountain, and Yosemite National Parks are going to lift the timed entry and reservation requirements they've had in place now for the peak visitation periods for a lot of years. There have been a lot of people who have not been too happy with some of those policies they have put in place over the last many years, where you had to make reservations, there was timed entry. It was an effort to just kind of control how many people were in the parks so there weren't too many people at any given time. Well, the National Park Service now says all 4 of those parks I mentioned, Arches, Glacier, Rocky Mountain, and Yosemite, are working to strengthen seasonal staffing levels and operational readiness to support strong visitor numbers this year. They say, though, when parking areas or roadways do reach capacity, the parks may implement some short-term traffic management measures to maintain safe conditions and protect park resources. But again, the reservation requirement, the timed entry process, that's gone. So I know I've heard a lot of folks in my family who've kind of done some belly aching about that, and I'm sure you've probably heard some of that too. But now, if you're going to visit one of those parks, you don't have to worry about those things. I'm going to go on a trip this summer up to Yellowstone and Glacier and Grand Teton. I can't wait for that. So I'm happy to hear that at least one of those parks is a part of that, the easing of the restrictions there. If you want some more information on that trip that I'm going to be on, go to holidayvacations.com. That is our Nightbeat Report here on, what is this, Thursday? It's Thursday. How about that? We're almost to Friday. That's the good news there. Appreciate you always watching, and we are happy to be here and catch you up on some early news and weather information on the Nightbeat. We're getting closer, by the way, to the 1-year anniversary of the debut of the Nightbeat, so we're pretty proud of that. Hope you have a great rest of your Thursday evening, everybody, and I'll see you on 13 News at 10.